Hello friends and welcome to Garden with Creekside. I know you've probably heard about speed dating. Well, today we're going to speed plant. That is right. I am tackling the stash of plants that I have been collecting honestly for about the last year, and I am going to see how many plants I can get into the ground as fast as possible today. We're primarily, if not always going to be up here at the chicken coop because these are the plants that are going to go up here. And so we are going to have lots of fun. Behind me, you can see part of the stash that is going to go in. We have everything from hostas to hydrangeas, 9-barks to camellias. We have got it all, my friends. We have got shade, we have got sun, we have got a little bit of everything that needs to go in. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to figure out exactly where these plants are going to go. I have a general idea, don't know exactly where they're going to go. Figure out the plant placement because honestly that could be about the longest part of the whole process. And then I am going to take you plant by plant and just talk about the plant that I am planting and explain why I am planting it where I am, because I think plant placement is like one of the absolute most key things when you are deciding to where to plant a plant and deciding on which plant is best for that area and all the things. So just to give you a quick little overview, I've got everything right here. I've got, of course, my biotone that I will be using. I have got the Jenny's 9-inch auger, and so that is going to hopefully make much easier work out of this project as if I were using a shovel. In fact, I absolutely know it will be. So all of these plants are going to be going into this bed here. And then I have a few other plants that are going to go in the general direction over here. And then I have got 2 rows of Sharons that are going to go in behind me. So again, a little bit of everything. I'm going to get everything placed. Meet you right back here and we'll start with plant number 1. We'll see how fast I can get these babies in the ground. All right, my friends, so first on the list is we are going to plant 2 Rose Dawn camellias. These are both japonicas. Obviously they are the same kind. I just have 2 of the same. We rescued these plants years ago from the nursery, and they have been hanging out in the pines. I'm going to plant them today. I am going to plant them extremely close together because I want them to grow as one plant. Rose Dawn Japonica means it's going to get ready to bloom now. It is actually covered in buds, a beautiful, big, fat, double bloom that will get some good height on it, right? So Japonicas, they grow slow. They take some time. They need filtered sun and a break in the hot afternoon sun. We're underneath deciduous trees, so it's going to get winter sun pretty much kind of all day, which it can handle because it's nice and light and not as strong. In the summertime, when these trees leaf out, this area does get shade because I've got oak trees, I've got a beech tree, I've got all sorts of things right here. I am planting them close together to make one nice, huge, gorgeous camellia because right now I just don't have somewhere to put 2. So we're going to put them together. One is big, one is small. There you go. One's a 3-gallon and one's like a 7-gallon. So let's go after it. Alrighty, my friends. So we got those Rose Dawn camellias planted. Hopefully that's going to be the hardest one of the day because that was my largest container. Now, those of you that are interested in Rose Dawn, you can find them at your local garden center, maybe shop for them online. Rose Dawn is going to be hardy in zones 7A to 9B. It will be 8 to 12 feet tall at maturity and 6 to 8 feet wide. So in about 20 years, hopefully, this whole area will be nothing but one massive, gorgeous Rose Dawn camellia. Now we're going to move on to something super simple, little 1-gallons. That's right, we're going to plant some perennials in this same little area. Alrighty, my friends, so Rose Dawn right here to my left. We have the planter that has some mini hostas and the aspidistra that we planted in the fall last summer. And then here we have a little nook between the cedar and a beech tree. Here we go. This is what we're going to do. We have got the Ribbon Falls Carex. Mimi gave this to me actually last year. It's been in the stash. Haven't had a place to put it. Ribbon Falls is a Carex. It is from the same breeder that does Feather Falls, but it is a lovely, just solid green, very glossy, and it is clumping. It is not a spreader, it is a clumper. So we are going to put that kind of here in the center. This is going to get some dappled sun. And then I have three. There's nothing to show you right now because they're dormant, but this is Blueberry Muffin Hosta. And Blueberry Muffin is going to be a really cool blue hosta. So we're going to have a gorgeous color contrast here between Ribbon Falls and Blueberry Muffin. Blueberry Muffin can get up to 36 inches wide, which is, I have them spaced closer than that. Honestly, let's just be realistic here. Probably not going to reach that size here because one, we're in the south. Two, this is not on irrigation. They're competing against trees here. But if for some miraculous reason they do get that nice and big, which I hope they do, I can easily either move one or divide it in a couple of years. No big deal. We're going to kind of surround that Ribbon Falls with those three Blueberry Muffins. And then back there in the corner, I have a sweet little aspidistra, a cast iron plant. And we're just going to simply call this CC's cast iron plant because CC, who is our beloved nursery manager, gave me some of that. This is off of her plants at her house, and she put it in a little quart container. It is going to make a spot in this garden permanently. So that is going to be CC's cast iron plant. We're going to plant another one here in just a minute. Like I said, I have one in a container. If you're not familiar with cast iron plants and you have dry shade, they are going to be your new best friend because evergreen, perennial, tough, drought tolerant, like the shade, they can handle it, and they come in a range of sizes, colors, but mostly they're that green with that very upright, strappy kind of foliage. So hopefully this should go really well because I have a 9-inch auger and these are either 1 gallons or quarts. So we should make quick work of this, fingers crossed. My friends, one of the downsides of holding over plants for as long as I did, these blueberry muffins literally I've had for a year wanting to plant, is that they can get root bound. They have obviously been well taken care of over the last year, well watered in protected areas, but they had a lot of vigorous growth while they were waiting to be planted. They were most definitely root bound. Don't be afraid of that. Sometimes you have to cut the pot off, break up those roots, use that biotone because that biotone, of course, is for your root growth, strong, healthy root growth. By breaking up those roots, we make the roots go out instead of keep going in a circle and eventually not thriving well at all. So those roots go out, they get happy. You would not know that I just planted 3 hostas because pretty much there's, quote, nothing here. It is a great time to be planting hostas. If you're in those warmer areas where you can handle hostas, basically hostas are hardy to like zones 3 to 9. Late winter going into spring is a great time to plant them. You absolutely can plant them dormant. You don't have to be able to see any action up top. Use that compost, use that biotone. I will say that this entire bed, Jackson a couple of weeks ago came in here and top dressed. This is our Creekside blend compost. So it is that 40% compost, 60% aged pine bark. That's why I'm not using any land and sea in this bed at all because I have got a super thick base. I told him to put it in here heavy because if you can see behind me, there's nothing. This ground is straight, awful red clay. So that's why I'm not using that land and sea. I've got great compost in here. As I'm auging those holes, it gets mixed in and then of course top dress. So we've got all these planted. Now I've got that other aspidistra, the tiny tank, which is a nice little petite one, and then a sun hosta. I am going to put this to the test. Sun hosta says that it can go into the full sun. Typically here where I am, it is too hot and humid and they fry. We sold these a couple of years ago. I've got people, sweet customers that just live right over the hill from me. They swear by them. They say they do great in the full sun. So that's what I'm going to do. Tiny tank and a sun hosta. All right, my friends, the sun is not being my friend right now trying to film this, but that's all right. Here we go. So some information on the tiny tank and the sun hosta. Tiny tank, again, great aspidistra. That is a cast iron plant. Your cast iron plants are historically slow growers. You're not going to see rapid growth really quickly. That's all right. They're in it for the long haul. Very, very drought tolerant. As its name suggests, Tiny Tank is only going to be about 18 inches tall and spread at maturity about maybe between 1 to 3 feet. Your aspidistra can get rather tall, and so Tiny Tank being at 18 inches is going to be that more petite one. Sun in the morning, filtered sun, it can handle this winter sun. Just when it starts to get too much sun, that's when the trees are going to leaf out and it will be all right. And then your sun hosta. So your sun hosta is really cool, and that is just what it's called. There's a website, it's just called sunhosta.com. This is a really cool, nice, variegated green center, nice thick and green in the middle, and then a creamy white on the edge of it. And it says on the website, it performs best in the full hot and humid conditions in the southeast in the full sun. So we're going to try it. It'll be a fun little color combination, texture difference between both that Tiny Tank, then I have a viburnum next to it, and then we're moving on to some hostas. So all that little corner right there will be very nice, filling in and look quite lovely. Now, what we're going to do is I have got 4 of the Let's Dance Arriba hydrangeas to put in the ground. I'm going to do these right really kind of close to each other. These are gorgeous, reblooming, big leaf macrophylla hydrangeas. They were created by a sweet friend of mine, Miss Megan Matai of Spring Meadow Nursery, and gorgeous plant that'll get to be about 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. It is one of the most sun-tolerant macrophyllas, and I am going to put it to the test. With these 4, you're going to see my placement. A couple of them are going to be in the really full sun, and then some are going to be a little bit more in the shade. We're going to see who thrives and who does the best in this area. But because they are reblooming macrophyllas, that means that you don't want to prune these. Anytime that you prune them, it's going to affect their bloom cycle. So right now, I already have growth popping out. I do not want to prune them, because if I prune them right now, I am cutting off my first blooms, and my goodness, I do not want to do that. And then if I prune them later on in the season, that's going to affect the later blooms for this summer. So put them in an area where you don't need to prune them. At 2 to 3 feet, that should be really easy to do, and just give them lots of room to grow. Let them spread their wings so that you don't have to feel like you have to go in there and prune them. But yeah, we're just going to kind of rinse and repeat. We're going to use the 9-inch auger, use biotone, get these babies in the ground, and you can see exactly where they're going to go. Next on the list is a ginger wine 9 bark. Now, I am pushing it because this is hardy in zones 3 to 7. I am a zone 8A. She is still going to get full sun. She needs full sun for that gorgeous foliage that we just absolutely love. But it is going to get a break from the hot afternoon sun because the sun sets here. This is west right here. And so it'll hit those other deciduous trees, and then it will become in the shade. We're going to test it. We're just going to go for it, y'all. She will get 5 to 6 feet tall and wide. So this will be a really fun, nice dark foliage. I don't really have anything up here yet that is that dark foliage on this corner. So we are going to add this ginger wine. It is native. It does white flowers. Of course, it's called a 9 bark because the bark peels and it looks like it has 9 layers. So here we go. Okay, my friends. So ginger wine is planted. Now we're going wild. That's right. Geisha gone wild. Japanese maple. If you remember, oh gosh, back in the fall, I did a huge order from our friends at mrmaple.com where I ordered a bunch of Japanese maples, and Geisha Gone Wild was one of those. Okay, so here we go. I've got their website pulled up so I can give you all of the deets. It is zones 5 to 9. It is going to be a beauty that leaves out with bright pink margined variegation on a deeper red. In the summertime, if you have it in full sun in the south, it's going to go more green, right, with a little bit of cream variegation. But if you give it morning sun and afternoon shade, then the pink and the red color combo is going to maintain the longest. In 10 years, it'll be 7 feet tall with a vase-like habit. Perfect right here. Again, this is enough sun for it to get that beautiful coloring, but I'm hoping that it will get some protection from the hot afternoon sun. This is a 1 gallon. Like I said, I ordered this, it was after Hurricane Helene, and ordered it as a 1 gallon. It literally has sat with the other ones by my garage all winter long, let the rain hit it, and it has been fine. It is already starting to have some swells on the leaves, so we are very excited about that. At the time that I filmed this video, they did have 1 gallons available online. So head over to mrmaple.com if you're interested in this gorgeous Geisha Gone Wild. We're gonna get her in here. Next up on the list, my friends, we have got 2 of the Proven Winners Just Chill Double White Camellias. Yes, these are new from our friends at Proven Winners, and this is going to be, of course, like other camellias, gorgeous, glossy, dark evergreen foliage on it. It is going to be a fall bloomer of those beautiful large double white flowers, and then it is going to be hardy in zones 7 to 9. It is in that full sun to part sun range, and it will be 5 to 8 feet tall, 3 to 5 feet wide. So this will be fun to have some nice evergreen right here, because I've got a native azalea right here. This is a snowbird deciduous azalea here. And on this side, I have little lime punch. So we've got a good number of deciduous shrubs around me. So to have this nice evergreen anchor right here with some height will be great. And at maturity, these 3 will probably be kissing one another. Nobody should overcrowd anybody. So yeah, there we go. And I have another double white to balance this space on the other side, because basically we are working our way to the center of the flower bed, and so I will show it to you when we get all done with everything, how I'm having these 2 to balance out this space. So it is a 1 gallon. We can make quick work of this, get these in the ground, and then we're going to do a fun, cute little clematis from our friends at Brushwood Nursery. Y'all, it's been living in this pot for way too long. We're gonna do something fun with it. It's not gonna climb anything. All right, now we're gonna do something a little different. We're gonna do something out of the box. Just go with me on this. I am standing right beside my bird bath in the middle of 3 Mucho Gusto abelias. Beautiful, nice, mounded, semi-evergreen shrubs. I have Clematis cadmea. Got it from our friends at Brushwood Nursery maybe 2 years ago. It has been living in this pot for maybe like 2 years. Not good on my part. However, you know, better late than never. So what we're going to do is we are going to plant this cadmea right at the base of this bird bath. Not intending for it to climb the bird bath. It can if it wants to, but really to use it as a ground cover so that it will come like fill in underneath the bird bath all right here. The owner of Brushwood Nursery was the one that suggested this to me with my Hudson River clematis that I have in the berm. Love the idea. I just don't have anywhere right now for a clematis to climb, and at the base of some of these trees, it's just, I don't want to do that. So we're going to use it as a ground cover. Now, cadmea is fun because it is also a fragrant clematis. Has nice, very light, kind of that lavender, blue, purple flowers on it. It is a type 3 clematis, which means that it blooms exclusively on new growth. Means I'm guaranteed to have flowers every single year. And if it really loves this spot and it just kind of goes crazy, then I can easily trim it, just kind of shape it up throughout the season, and that will encourage new blooms. So we're going to do our best to put this cadmea right here underneath the bird bath. Okay, my friends, so we have moved from the well-composted center island down here to the area, back to the gosh awful red clay. So I have a bag of land and sea. We are going to plant 2 different types of Rose of Sharon's. First of all, right here on the corner is the Paraplu Adorned. Now, this is a cool Rose of Sharon, not only because of its beautiful flowers, right? Nice, kind of that rich pinky purple dark eye on it, but the foliage on this thing is stunning. It is a bicolor with a lighter green, darker green. So cool. It is going to be that traditional size for a Rose of Sharon. It's going to be nice and big, hence why I have it here on the corner. I have my Forever Goldie right next door. This will be kind of the anchor point of this flower bed before you go over to the chicken coop. This will be 8 to 10 feet tall, but only 3 to 4 feet wide. So yay for that, because 3 to 4 feet, we've got plenty of room for my Forever Goldie to grow. And then I have a perennial hibiscus 4 feet away from us. So if the hibiscus reaches her full potential, Adorned reaches her full potential, they will just kiss one another and be a beautiful color combination, because that hibiscus has more darker leaves with a really pretty pink flower. So got a lot of color and texture going on right here. I'm going to go ahead and drill my hole, and then what I had to do on some of those holes in the island bed that had super red clay soil is I threw some of the compost in there and then mixed it up. So I suspect that's what I'll do here, because it'll be pretty bad. So I'll drill, throw some compost in, drill again, get it all mixed up, then we'll just plant as regular. So Megan and I were just talking, and I was like, you know what, probably we're going to hit right here. There's not going to be any red clay at all. And there's not. There's all this lovely field dirt that we brought in, nice rich compost. There are some rocks in there though. So what I'm going to do is just still do my biotone in there, and then I'm going to save the land and sea. We're going to top dress around. Last plant of the day, my friends. The sun is setting and we're going for it. All right. I have a polypetite rose of Sharon. Now, polypetite is so cute because, as her name should suggest, she is a nice and short, round hibiscus, rose of Sharon. Rose of Sharons are in the hibiscus family. So she's going to be a nice, like in that 3 foot range, 3 feet tall and wide. I have her in front of, well, it depends on how you look at it, the Bosque Elm. I've got a Salvia gregii right here, the Ashley River Angel. So this fills in this spot right here. Like the other roses of Sharon, it is going to be deciduous. It is sticks right now, but once she starts blooming, she is going to bloom non-stop throughout the season, and it is going to be a beautiful color combination here with those pinks and light purples all happening in this corner. So I would say that this is bad soil, but we'll see. I have landed and see if I need it. And yeah, we're just gonna do last plant of the day. As he comes in, I am sitting here sweating in jeans and a t-shirt. You can tell that he's been in somewhere very cool because he's in jeans.
Oh, I've been outside on the machine.
In the machine or on
On the machine, on the little one, and the blazing sun. Then I went into, yes, the blazing sun. But I'm here to rescue. Oh.
But that's the good thing. There's no irrigation up here and there's no electrical, so. Let me cut it. All right, take her for a little mixer spin. Perfect. Work smarter, not harder.
Great, huh?
All right, my friends, we are done for today. Probably took me about 3 hours to do that. Now, of course, this is filming, so it always takes longer when you film, but I got 18 plants in the ground. It wasn't all that I had for this area, but hey, it is a great start. That is 18 plants in the ground that I don't have to worry about anymore. And as we talked about earlier, some of them have been waiting for more than a year. I'll give you just a really quick little overview of the general space, what we did. We're gonna start, let's start where we started, and then we'll go from there. You can see that right now, this spot is getting sun. Once these trees leaf out, then it will be in the shade because when I put that unique stone planter here where the Rose Dawn is now, that was in a nice shaded area in the afternoon. So this will be shade, don't worry about that. But the Rose Dawn is in, kind of give you that whole perspective of this area right here. You can see, I did leave, maybe you can see that little white tag right here. So that's where the sun hosta is. Then of course the tiny tank, the rose dawn right there. Again, what's in the unique stone is that aspidistra, and then there's 3 little miniature hostas in there. So it'd be really pretty to have those hostas in there, and then the blueberry muffins kind of in this area right there. And then the 4 arebas, right? And you can see that they are flushing out already. They have got that green growth on them. Very, very happy waking up. The only time, I know I said you never prune these hydrangeas, and that is a general rule, right? But the only time you would prune it is after it flushes out, and if you have some stems in there that are dead. Like I can tell right now that this stem is dead because the inside of it is brown. And did you hear that? It just snaps. So you could come in here and trim that off. I like to wait until it completely flushes out and you know what's alive and what's not, and then you can trim at that point. So coming on around, this is another native azalea. This is a beautiful, it's from Southern Living, solar flare, orange flare. It's an orange one. So you'll have that beautiful spring bloomer with the ginger wine 9-bark right here, and then the geisha gone wild. I don't even know if you can see that little stick back there. I probably, after I planted it, I was in such a hurry. It kind of drives me crazy the way that it's leaning right now. Either I'm going to go back and kind of straighten her up, or more than likely I'll get I have a little thin stake and I will kind of stake it more up. But yeah, looking at it now, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're crooked. So that's going to drive me crazy that I'll have to fix that. And then the camellias. So let me show you what I was talking about with those Just Chill double white camellias. Kind of give you the whole big picture. I know you can see my shadow. There we go. All right, so if you're looking at the center of the bed, you've got the evergreen here. On each side of the evergreen, you have got 2 limelight hydrangeas. Then on each side of those limelights, there is a deciduous azalea. There are different ones. It's the snowbird, and then the lemon lights is back here. So that kind of keeps that balanced. So then I went off and there's that one camellia, and then the other camellia is there. So that way there is some balance to this bed. I think it'll be really fun when the Cadmea clematis starts to really fill in and bloom. Of course, I just pruned my Bujo Gusto abelias, so they'll fill in and you'll just have all this beautiful intermingling of the flowers with the clematis. And then of course it can go whichever way it wants to, but even if it just went back, then that would be fun. If I wanted to have it climb up the bird bath, I'm sure I could kind of grab a little bit of it and kind of tie it up there if I wanted to do that later on. And then kind of rotating here so you can get the full picture. This is the back side, of course, of the chicken coop. So the chicken coop, and then the Forever Goldie, and then here is the Adorned right here. It might make more sense if I kind of look at it from this direction so you can kind of see how my thought process on that will be. So you've got another Salvia gregii right here. Then you've got that hibiscus, the perennial hibiscus. There's the Adorned, and then of course the Forever Goldie right there. So this one will be nice and tall, and if you see like the Forever Goldie, she looks a little funky, looks a little thin, and then so does my Touch of Gold Holly. Remember, this entire area got demolished in Helene because way back there in the back, our neighbor's tree, this massive pine tree, fell and took out everything. So this cherry tree is new. Jackson and I planted it in the fall because it completely destroyed the cherry tree that was here. So that's why we've got some filling in and growing to do. And then coming around here, just to kind of give you the other perspective, same thing, right? Forever Goldie, Adorned. This is the Bosque Elm, and then you can see where we put that little Polly Petite. So I think that'll be a really kind of fun addition, kind of working in on this bank right here. Definitely has a raised area. And then this is the Grand Cascade Violet butterfly bush. And so those colors will all turn, just be a beautiful color combination together. And that Salvia gregii is like a deep blue. So we'll have in that kind of that purpley pink blue family right there. It'll be really, really lovely. So that is it for today, people. Yeah, I'm a tired puppy. I'm a hungry puppy. And so I really have a literal hungry puppy up there with me. So we're going to call it a day. Feels good. This garden is overwhelming because there's a lot to be done, but one step at a time. And there you go. That's how you do it. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you next video. Bye, my friends.